This shoe is symbolic with greatness, and the gold represents winning. And I think for anybody that has this shoe, which not that many do, hopefully at some point, in the future we'll talk about putting this out, but I think this shoe should be worn very sparingly. I never had my own shoe throughout, my career, and I was fine with that. There were so many different player exclusives that they would make, and I would try them on, and I liked them. But every now and then, playing in Boston, we were always prime time, and being able to wear a retro in a green and white, it was great every now and then to push something different out into the airwaves. And so after we won the championship in Boston in 2008, that I had to wear something special going into the ring ceremony. And we got to 2008, that next year we're playing against Cleveland, starting opening night, and I said, I got to have something just on my feet that symbolizes a championship. And and at the time I was like, I loved playing in 11s because they gave me the best grip on the court, especially as much as I'm coming tight off screens, and so they came up with the gold and green colorways, and so 2008 happened, and it was great to be able to, it's like a stamp on that moment. And then obviously 2013 was the same opportunity, and to be able to stamp those moments with these shoes, like I said earlier, it's always the shoe that tells the story at the end of the day. These two shoes are connected. The shoe that got us to where we needed to be, and ultimately the shoe that I was wearing when we won the championship in 2013. This is what I wore on ring ceremony night. Both of those shoes to me are, they have a very soft spot in my heart because obviously winning. And aside from the, obviously I had the ones in Boston 2008, the gold and green ones, which are, at my house up north, but these two represent, a great deal for me. So, I always keep those, somewhere in the house hidden. When you look at one of your favorite movies, you watch it again and you say, I forgot. That's kind of like these represent one thing and one thing only. So when you bring that out, it's like being able to kind of relive certain moments, and I think that's what the Jordan does, because to everybody it means something different. As a young person, I never owned a pair of Jordans. I didn't own a pair of Jordans until I got to the league, and obviously I had the contract with Brand Jordan, so I never really wore pairs. I knew what shoes I loved, what was my favorite pair, but it just seemed otherworldly. And it was interesting because I wasn't even stressing it either. I just felt like, there'll be a day, when I own a pair. And it just seemed appropriate that I signed with Jordan, and then all of a sudden I was now almost over inundated with so many sneakers that it seemed fitting because it seemed like a reward, in my patience and being successful and knowing that down the line, what was going to come to me was going to come. The AJ11's impact is huge, over the course of history with basketball, sneaker culture, style. When it came out, I believe I was in college, and it did have a sense of style to it, with the patent leather that gave people that option to wear it off of the basketball court. So although you see people wearing it still playing basketball now, we see more people wearing it just through everyday life, as a sign of their style and the different colors now that come out. So it's one of those sneakers, I think, that, for the history of our world going into the future, we're going to always wear it, we're going to always celebrate it, and it's going to continue to reinvent itself.
Like, how was your PE logo created?
Gentry was somewhat of the brainchild behind it because we were trying to figure out a logo, many years back. It's symbolic, obviously, to who I am, to you know, kind of take my signature and then incorporate, you know, or embody the spirit of my shot. If you had me running down the floor as a black shadow and the shot went up, people could tell you, hey, I know who that was. And so to be able to embody that in the logo, to me, you know, when I seen it, I was like, it's perfect. People, when they watch you growing up, you know, celebrate your career, they're at a game, they see you hit your career high. Like, people come up to me a lot, you know, tell me where they were when a certain moment happened. When I won a championship, you know, where they were, you know, they were in a different country. Those moments, you know, they teach you that when you create these moments, you create moments for other people to live and to grow up with. And it makes you a part of teaching young people how to live and how to be. And that's why sports, you know, everywhere around the world is great for every culture. I always tell people that, you know, as much as I'm one of the best shooters you've ever seen shoot in a NBA Finals or NBA game, but I'm not the best shooter the world has ever seen. You know, because there's so many, like my whole life I've been known that there's been so many great shooters better than me. Well, I mean, Eddie House, James Jones, Mike Miller. Like if them guys, I've been in the gym with those guys and them guys shoot and, you know, lights out, but me, I've tried to be more well-rounded and be able to do other things, like, you know, but to be able to do it on call when you have to do it at that moment, that's a different scenario.